Real estate agents, what's the stupidest thing your client posted publicly? My parents got outbid by another buyer on the house they wanted. The owner of the house rejected the higher bid and chose to sell it to my parents. She said she liked my parents more because they didn't insult the house while they were viewing it. Apparently the other buyer had spoken negatively about several aspects of the house and the owner was very offended by that. But the deal isn't closed until the deal is closed. My agent told us a story where buyer and seller got into escrow on a $1M plus house, banks were doing reviews, and then a week before close, the buyer went and financed a $60,000 truck to fill their new garage. Well, when the bank saw this, they recrunched all the numbers, and the loan fell through. This was around the start of COVID when lenders were being extra strict on buyer cash reserves, and the buyers were already on the upper limit of what they got pre-approved for. Pretty sure my agent said the buyer lost their 3% EMD to boot. I'm house hunting right now. Last weekend, my partner and I viewed two homes 2 doors down from each other. Same square footage, same kitchen, but one house had fewer bedrooms and less of an ocean view. The owner of the worse house wants $300,000 more for it, however, because she imported some of her interior doors from Italy. Nobody cares about your fancy schmancy doors, lady. Real estate agent. My buyer client posted he was looking to pay for someone to fake employment documents to qualify for a mortgage. Forgot he had friended me. My ex and I sold our first condo. We accepted an offer and for a month before closing the buyers kept calling and asking if we could do this or that for them. The worst was when they asked if we could clear out all the rooms so they could put new carpet in. They also asked if we could repaint the unit for them and buy new appliances. No. My wife is an agent and she had some buyers in escrow tell the sellers that the house had appraised $60,000 over the accepted offer price. After the sellers heard that, they were more than happy to let the deal fall through and were completely uncooperative. Unfortunately for the buyers, the house ended up having about $50,000 in damage and the sellers weren't willing to concede anything since they had been told that the house was worth $60,000 more. If the stupid buyers hadn't said anything about the appraisal, they probably would have gotten tens of thousands in repair money from the seller. Surprisingly, both sides still went through with the deal. Was a buyer viewing an apartment. The selling realtor was a frat bro type, showed up late, then kept talking about how hungover he was from partying the previous night. It didn't make a very good impression. When we were selling our house, we got to a week before closing before it came out that the buyers were in the country illegally and couldn't get a mortgage. They didn't speak English well and their agent didn't speak Spanish, so there were several hot messes before we reached that point. I never felt good about it, but my husband did. Oh well. We ended up selling to a recently divorced woman and her 3 girls and it worked out perfectly. And we got an extra month of not living with my in-laws while our new house finished construction. How did I know that the highest rated comment was going to start with not a real estate agent but? Not posted publicly, but one of my clients few years ago said it's crazy how many people are interested in his apartment and decided to forfeit the whole process. I was literally shocked how stupid he was and couldn't find words, just deleted the listing and never made contact again. Not an agent but. When buying a house, my agent just happened to have the same last name as me. No relation, of course. And as is often the case, the seller's agent knows my agent, they're buddies. Turns out that the seller's agent worked some things in our favor, because he thought we were family members of his buddy. But damn, y'all own homes. Never knew I was in presence of the country club members. Can y'all take my poor ass for a round of golf? Not an agent but a real estate story. When we bought our first home, was built in 1973, we met the original owner was elderly and her daughter who lived in another state. We were talking about the cost of living in CA and they said, and don't forget you have to pay the property taxes, and I said we know and it's about $500/month. They said no, you mean per year? I said no, per month. The original owner bought for $40,000 and I bought at over $500,000. Their jaws hit the floor. I was struggling to understand how folks can be that out of touch with what stuff costs. Listed at $499,000. Visible wood-eating insects in several door frames. Piles of wood chips on decking. Buyers ask for termite bond and concessions. Buyers post photos without address and ask on their Facebook page for advice from family and friends. Sellers say we are insulted that they would point this out and take photos. We are contacting our lawyer to sue for libel. They pulled listing and decide to move back.